For Saturday, August 1st, 2020. This is the Pro and Con Show, and I'm your host, Michael James Ott. As always, welcome to the show. As always, trying to convince, influence, cajole, hope, I don't know, anything I can do to try to hopefully make people be a little bit better citizens, to be more proactive, to be more active and participate better in our governance. This is what is required of us as citizens of this country, of citizens of any democracy. You can't just turn your back on what's going on. The analogy I've used in the past is parents at a big picnic or whatever, and the kids are playing off in the background, and that's all well and good, just like our representatives and senators and the president can be in Washington. But at some point when they're misbehaving, the parents have to step in. In this case, it's us, the citizens of this country. We have to step in. We have to fix what's going on. And so how do we do that? Well, you listen, okay? You listen to the different viewpoints, and from that, you try your best to ferret out the real truth. And just like when kids are fighting and arguing and stuff like that, and you're coming in after the fact, you're never quite sure what the real truth is, but you can kind of figure out what it mostly is, and you have to take the time to do that. And that's what we have to do as citizens. So today's show, I titled it Rule. And the reason why I am calling it that is because Mr. Trump, as he likes to do, he put out a tweet. And the tweet was, "You can count on me to rule as the law and order president." Or words to that effect. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you can count on me to rule as the law and order president. To rule. Now, those words are very important in a government that's supposed to be a republic and representative of the people. Rule is an autocratic kind of thing, okay? This, again, people that would be king. This is Donald Trump, obviously. And I understand that people get fed up. You, my fellow citizens, community members, neighbors, can get, frustrated by the fact that our government doesn't always act as well as it could, especially with the way that we have allowed these two parties. And I'm not going to go into, again, the citizen statesman thing, but look at it, okay? If you want to fix this, get rid of the two parties. But anyway, because of all the back and forth between the two parties, the Hatfields and McCoys, that's where all the frustration and anger comes in for the vast majority of us, because we don't believe in the extreme right or the extreme left. Most of us are very much centrists, and we just want our government to be effective and to move forward. And when there's this constant bickering back and forth and no willingness to compromise and so on, it just feels like our government is not functioning well. Well, okay, government does move slowly in most cases and needs to, in most cases, move slowly. That's a good thing. And I know that Mr. Trump, he's said multiple times, that he just would love to just be, and in fact, he signs these executive orders all the time. And and all of us as individuals, we get it, we understand. Okay, it'd be great. Going back to the picnic analogy. The kids are misbehaving or whatever, and so one parent suddenly declares themselves king and can wade in and say, okay, even though these kids all belong to many different parents here and stuff like that, I'm going to decide, bam, 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 this is the I'm going to mete out the punishments and the discipline and the, and tell everybody what to do. Well, that would feel good for a few moments until you realize that if someone else were suddenly promoted to king, and then they would be doing a bunch of stuff that you wouldn't like. Okay? So this is how this works. We talk about things. This is the magic that we've this is the magic of our society that in some ways we've lost because of the two-party system. And so, Mr. Trump has been used to an autocratic kind of rule his entire life because of the way that, he's lived. So he's had huge amounts of money at his fingertips and people argue over whether it was millions or billions, but it doesn't matter. That's a lot of money. For the average American, that's a lot of money. And so Trump has always been used to, nice restaurants and fancy cars and gold gilded apartments and lots of granite and tall story buildings and all this symbols of opulence, and also by to basically ordering people to do what they want to do. And I remember having a conversation with my brother-in-law a couple of years ago now, where he thought, his instinct was, it's great that we got this president who's just going to, tell people what to do. Well, that's great if it's his money. And for example, if he's running his presidential campaign and he's collected, or he's just spending his money, not the money that has come from, millions of small contributors, then, by golly, if he wants to say whatever he wants to say with his money and put whatever ads up. But in my mind, once you start being part of this collective, once you say, I'm going to be part of the society, then, and then that society is contributing to me, then those people should have some influence on you. Rightly so. Does that not make sense to you? So this country, we pay, all of us pay taxes. The people that kind of generally make the least amount of money certainly pay a disproportionate amount of their income as taxes because of all the loopholes and stuff, again, that we've allowed, you and I, which we can fix it all, citizen statesman. But we should have input if we're participating in this social experiment, which we call the United States of America, and we're paying, we're contributing into this thing so that the government, of the people, by the people, for the people, will do things for us, for the people. Then yes, we should have an expectation that we should participate in that we should be allowed to participate in it. And then secondly, we're actually going to be required to participate in it as good, responsible citizens. With freedom comes responsibility. With freedom comes responsibility. And, just going back to Mr. Trump here, he has this strong propensity to think of himself as an autocrat and like other autocrats around the world. So Putin and Kim Jong-un, and there's a handful of folks around the world that he thinks they're great. Because why does he think they're great? Because they in their societies, they do have that authority, and he would love to have that. And it's also this whole episode of the Pro and Con show is all about the reasons why Mr. Trump is not a good choice as President of the United States, because we don't want a king. We fought a revolutionary war to get rid of a king, and we don't want another one. And and one of the problems with the way that we elect people these days, including Mr. Trump, is the way that we elect them. There's a portion of them, and in Mr. Trump's case, I would argue a large portion of his personality would be king. They want to be king. And this is a problem. All right, so for the Pro and Con show for Saturday, August 1st, I am Michael James Ott. Thanks for watching the show. Hope the wheels are turning a little bit. Until the next show, bye for now.